So which one is better, whole life policy or term policy? For those of you that don't know or don't understand, whole life is considered for your whole life. Some people call it, or some agents like to call it, cash value policies or cash value life insurance policy. Term life policy is exactly what it says. It's for a term or specified time in your life, usually between 10 and 40 years. So here's the thing, there is no better insurance policy. A lot of people tend to side with term and say because term policies usually are cheaper to go with the term policy, and then with whatever money you have left budgeted, use that to invest in something else like a mutual fund or an annuity or stock market or whatever, right? So they bash the whole life people, and then the whole life or cash value people say don't invest in term because you don't get any cash value. Um, and so debate this war keeps raging amongst insurance agents and agencies and organizations. I say there is no better one. I think it depends on the individual. It depends on your needs as a client, not for me to say one is better than the other because you have universal life policies, you have index universal life policies, you even have variable universal life policies and annuities. And then you have all the other things to worry about when you talk about health insurance, dental, vision, you name it, right? So I think people are kind of getting tired of the back and forth. It's up to the agent to explain either one. Some people know what whole life is, or they've heard about it, and some people know what term is, or they've heard about it. But the reality is, most people don't drill down into what each policy type does for them and their families. And I think that's the important thing to stress to people. What is this policy going to do for me and my family? Not what's better for the agent to push. Now, I've had some agents come in my DM and disagree with me. And I've had some agents, in real life, offline, disagree with me. But I'm up for discussion. However, I see some real bad things from some agents saying some really terrible things about policy type. Well, here's the thing. At a certain age, and based on how much money you have, either one's it doesn't matter. Uh, if you're too young, you're not thinking about it. If you're in the middle, you have kids, then you really have to think about it if you don't have coverage. And that's the most important thing to tell people to get coverage. Life insurance is not really, it's an option, but it's not really an option. So for example, we're mandated to have car insurance, homeowners insurance, PMI, that's a whole nother issue. Renters insurance, where you rent a place, people, demand certain amounts of renters insurance. We have so many mandatory insurances that the question should be, why don't you have life insurance for you and your family? That should be the real question, not is term better than whole and try to bash somebody for selling an IUL. I even saw somebody talking about IULs don't help you generate or create generational wealth. Well, the reality is, if you do it right, you can benefit from a life insurance policy while you're alive, and then your beneficiaries and your family can benefit when you're no longer here. And that's another key point to make, not whether whole is better than term and term is better than whole. And, it's just too much for the consumer. What should happen is the consumer should be educated. For example, term policies, no, they don't have cash value, right? However, there are policies that allow for what I call cash back life insurance. which means the term policy can actually be structured in a way that at the end of the term, 10, 20, 30, or 40 years, that person outlasts their policy, they will get all of their premiums back. So, for example, I just did a policy for a young lady not too many days ago that her return of premium was almost $40,000 at the end of the 40-year term. Of course, you can do other things with the $40,000. You can choose the option to receive all of your premium back, or you can do two or three other things with it. Uh, and of course, the insurance company is going to attempt to, you know, make you convert it. But those are things that most people don't talk about. A lot of people a lot of agents like to bash the other, but in reality, the client is in charge. So if you have somebody with a house, the house is valued at $500,000, it would make sense to tell them about both types of policies. Yes, the whole life is going to be more expensive than the term, right? Because the term policy is going to run out at a certain point. But then the whole life has other things that can be attached to it. I mean, in reality, the IUL is nothing more than a whole life policy that has an annuity attached to it. We talk about the index of that policy is based on the index of the markets, right? Or a market. So life insurance agents know what I'm talking about. And some policyholders know what I'm talking about too. But the reality is just educate the consumer. Stop trying to bash each other. It's not, it's really bad business to bash one type of insurance policy, to be honest with you. Like final expense insurance, right? Final expense insurance is necessary. You have somebody that has no coverage, right? And they've seen people pass away during their lifetime, and here you come with a solution to their problem, right? So final expense insurance, while the policy values are lower, the face values are lower, it helps in the time of need. And this is about advanced planning anyway, right? So insurance policies help plan now and in the future, not just for me to talk about don't get term or don't get whole. That's bad business. So I implore all agents. I know I'm gonna get some. I know I'm gonna get some disagreements. It's cool. We can disagree all day. I'm still gonna say do what's best for the consumer, not yourself and not your organization. Some whole organizations are are teaching this, and I understand. I understand that insurance agents, right, should be looked at as financial professionals because they are. I think for a long time, life insurance agents had a bad rap, had a bad perception. They were perceived to be evil or bad people. The reality is, insurance companies are really, this is really, really regulated. It's not something where, it's really tough to do something illegal in the insurance industry. Although people do illegal things in every industry. Let me get back on track. So what I'm saying, agents, consumers, clients, stop looking at a policy type as bad or good. Look at it as what's best for me and my family now and in the future. That's what we need to be focused on. Not saying whole is like evil or term is evil because it doesn't have a cash value attached to it or it doesn't accrue value or interest. I think this is the wrong road to go down. So anyway, until next time, I just thought I'd get on and talk about that real quick. And now I'm going to get back to work. You guys have a great day.